In this section F, we have already covered topic number 1 and 2. In topic number 1, we have discussed about the information system. In topic 2, we have covered data governance. Now we are in topic number 3. Section of topic 3 is dealing with technology enabled financial transformation. I repeat, in this topic number 3, we are going to check the technology based finance transformation. So, technology based finance transformation. How the technology will be involved in case of financial transactions and everything. Before starting the topic number 3, now let us see what are all the various concepts will be covered in this topic 3. There are total 6 topics in this, there are total 6 concepts covered in this topic number 3. Concept number 1 is what is systems development life cycle. What is systems development life cycle, SDLC. Intentionally I am taking these videos with a little bit slow motion. The reason is the entire section of is dealing with the theory only. Okay, so that is the reason intentionally I am taking so much of time before explaining any concept in this entire section of especially. Okay, now coming to this concept number 1, what is systems development life cycle, SDLC. Systems development life cycle is nothing but none other than the structured roadmap for designing and implementing a new information system in an organization. I repeat, whenever a person is asking you about what is SDLC, then you have to tell them that it is a structured, I repeat, it is a structured roadmap. Why there is a structured roadmap? Yeah, the reason is for designing and implementing. For designing and implementing a new information system, where it is to be designed and implemented. Here it means a new information system, where this new information system will be designed and implemented. Yes, it will be implemented in an organization. So that is within an organization. I will tell you in a simple way. System development life cycle means every company is running its own way of methodology for manufacturing a particular product or to render a particular service. Even if you think a particular company is running well regarding its operations point of view, regarding its structure of the organization point of view, whatever it is, but even there is a space available for the organization to develop more and more beyond the present situation. To go beyond the present situation, the company needs to analyze itself continuously. So where the where the concept of SDLC will come into picture. That is, there are 5 steps available to the company to analyze their present system. Based on these 5 steps, the company can design a new system. The company can implement the new system by replacing the existing information system. In this SDLC, there are total 5 steps available. Through these 5 steps process, any company, so these are any, with these 5 steps process, any company can implement, can design new information system within an organization. The first one is system analysis. So as I already told you, what needs to be done whenever a company is intended to change the current system. First of all, they have to analyze their present system. So that is the reason system analysis involves the identifying the needs of the organization. What are all the various needs of the organization? And assembling the information regarding the modifying the current system, purchasing a new system, and developing a new system. So this is called system analysis. Once a company is decided that the present system is needs to be modified, or the new system is to be purchased, or the new system is to be developed, then the company will take note of all those things, and now the company will design a particular concept, that is called conceptual design. In conceptual design, company will create a plan for meeting the needs of the organization. So conceptual design involves the creating a plan. Why there is a creation of plan? Creating a plan to meet the needs of the organization. So various design alternatives will be prepared and detailed specifications are created to provide the instruction on how to achieve the company desired system. So in this step number 2, in conceptual design process, various design alternatives will be notified and those will be evaluated, and once a concept is designed, then they will go for the physical design. As already the name implies that here the physical design will be developed. Physical design means hardware and software. Both will be designed as per the new information system, as per the new conceptual design. So in step number 3, physical design, it involves nothing but taking the conceptual design and creating detailed specifications for creating the system. So that design would include specifications for various computer codes, inputs, outputs, and everything. Data files and databases and proper controls, everything will be physically designed. And once physically designed, the next step is implementation and conversion. So whatever hardware and software is developed, that needs to be installed with the new system. So that is the reason implementation and conversion involves the installation of the new system including hardware and software. So the new system is now tested and users are always trained with the new standards and with new procedures, and controls are instituted within an organization. So after implementation, the next one is operations and maintenance. Always the operations and maintenance is nothing but a ongoing process, because it involves running the system, checking the performance, making whatever adjustments as necessary, and maintaining the overall system. So improvements, if at all is needed, then whatever whatever problems are identified, those will be fixed always, and ultimately the system will be improved. So this is called SDLC. Now we will discuss more detail about this concept one in a later part of this topic number 3. Now coming to the concept number 2, role of business process analysis, or BPA, business process analysis, in improving the system performance. Then what is the meaning of business process analysis? Business process analysis is nothing but relating to the how our company is maintaining the business operations, that is the way companies run their businesses. So simply business processes are the way the companies run their businesses. The quality of a company's system performance directly impacts the overall performance of the company. So that companies always want to find ways, various ways to improve themselves. So to do things better, to do things at a cheaper rate, and to do things at a faster rate, and even not to do, if at all non-value added activities are there, not to do those activities. Why all these activities will be done by the company? So to increase the profitability. If you ask me about what exactly the business process analysis, then we have to think about various business processes. What are all the various business processes means? Tasks, procedures, teams, and communications in an organization. What the company is doing every day to provide their products and services to the customers. So what will be the tasks, what will be the procedures, what will be the teams, whatever be the communication within a hierarchy in an organization. What exactly the company is every day doing to provide their products or services to the customers. They are called nothing but business processes. So we need to analyze that process, business process. So that is the reason this is called business process analysis. In this topic too, we are going to discuss about the role of business process analysis in improving our company's performance. That I will tell you later in a detailed manner in this topic number 3. The next concept is concept number 3, robotic process automation. You can call it as a robotic process automation. We can call it as a RPA. Here also process, but in concept through business process analysis, but here robotic process automation. In concept number 3, we are always thinking about the process automation. Whatever be the processes are there in our organization, those needs to be automatically done with the help of the various robotic tools. So robotic process automation is nothing but it is a technology that can automate business processes that are rules based. I repeat, that are rules based, structured and repetitive. So remember that rules based, structured and repetitive. So it is a technology that can automate business processes that are rules based, structured and repetitive. So a company can use RPA tools to communicate with other digital systems, capture data, retrieve information, process a transaction and more. So generally, as of now, financial firms were the first to use RPA tools, but now other industries which are using RPA is healthcare, retail, manufacturing and more companies. So robotic process automation in practical scenario, we can see it in call center operations, help desk, support sales process, scheduling systems, etc. So simply think about robotic process automation as a without any intelligence. So whatever the normal routine tasks are there in an organization, they can be performed by these robotics. So simply we can call them as even web robotics also. Robotics shortly, in short form, we can call it as board charts, board charts. If you visit a particular website, you can find that there are some board charts. So board means nothing but robotic, robots. Okay, we will discuss deeply about this robotic process automation in the later part of this topic. Coming to the concept number 4, it is nothing but artificial intelligence and relating to this accounting data processing. So then what is artificial intelligence? I'll explain you that artificial intelligence is nothing but an intelligence demonstrated by the machines. Artificial intelligence is an intelligence demonstrated by the machines. Simply we can call it as artificial intelligence. We can call it as a human intelligence, not in humans but in machines. So artificial intelligence means human intelligence in machines. Simply artificial intelligence means human intelligence in machines. So artificial intelligence is an intelligence demonstrated by the machines. Unlike the natural intelligence displayed by humans and animals. So which involves consciousness and emotionality, etc. So artificial intelligence is a wide-ranging branch of the computer science concerned with building smart machines. So those smart machines are now capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence. That is the reason I called it as a human intelligence in machines. That is called artificial intelligence. So it is the endeavor to replicate or simulate human intelligence in machines. Especially before implementing the artificial intelligence, the process of accounting, the accounting data process will be done manually. So whenever there needs to be processing of the purchase order based on the paper, so automatically paper based form is to be filled out and then manually entered into the company's purchasing system. Then purchase order will be coded and forwarded to the proper party for authorization and then mailed to the vendor. Then vendor will send the whatever raw material required by our company. But after introduction of the artificial intelligence, from the purchase order to the receipt of the raw material, whatever is the process is there between these two, that entire thing will be taken care by the artificial intelligence, that is by the machines only. So human intelligence in machines. So that is now electronic processing is done with the artificial intelligence. So data entry and analysis and reducing frauds and everything, these are the two main areas. So data entry and analysis and also reducing the fraud. Whenever a human is interacting with any business process, automatically there are so many chances for the errors. When compared with the humans, if a company is using artificial intelligence, then there is a lesser chance about the fraud also. So a significant benefit of artificial intelligence, you can assume that they can even learn from their mistakes and be programmed to not repeat those mistakes. So that is the beauty part of the artificial intelligence. Once if at all they have made any mistake, the same mistake can be rectified by those machines themselves, and they will not definitely will repeat those mistakes. So but anyhow artificial intelligence is expensive to implement. So that is the reason artificial intelligence, even though it is performing intellectual tasks from the company's end, but to implement this AI by companies, it is very expensive. So this is about artificial intelligence, and we can discuss more about this artificial intelligence in the later part of this topic. And see the students, this concept one system development life cycle, that itself is the one independent concept. You can assume like that. So concept two business process automation. This is also one independent concept. But a robotic process automation, so that is RPA, and artificial intelligence. These two are nothing but relating to the process automation. Automation. So process automation has been divided into robotic process or by the artificial intelligence. The difference between robotic process and artificial intelligence is a robotic process always involves with the daily routine tasks where intelligence is not required. But artificial intelligence is always involves with the intelligence. Somewhat intelligence is required. Some pattern recognition in an analysis. Everything will be performed by the artificial intelligence. So that is the main difference between concept 3 and 4. But concept 3 and 4 will come under process automation. Okay. Now, what is cloud computing? So cloud computing is nothing but outsourcing computer operations to an outside provider. So this is nothing but outsourcing is what? Outsourcing computer operations. To whom this outsourcing will be given by the companies. So outsourcing computer operations to an outside provider. So this is called cloud computing. Computer hardware and software is generally expensive and requires more maintenance. But whenever a company is outsourcing computer operations to an outside organization, then it becomes cost effective. That is, the company will incur only lesser cost. So that is the reason majority of the companies are now outsourcing their company computer operations to an outside provider. But there is a heavy risk involved in cloud computing. So the main risk is that cloud provider, whoever is the cloud provider, so they may not provide sufficient security to our computer operations. Even they may not support the level of service whatever is required to our operations, to our computer operations. So there are two risks associated with the cloud computing. One is sufficient security may not be provided by the cloud provider, and also the level of service required by the company may not be provided by the cloud service provider. So these are the main risks associated with the cloud computing. And especially whenever we are referring to the cloud computing, we should speak about as an example, the concept is called software as a service. So this is called SaaS, software as a service, software as a service. Software as a service is a common example of cloud computing. So companies can purchase software from a provider on monthly or yearly or lifetime subscription. Later company will get software updates, new additions, etc. if at all is there. So that company will pay some charges based on our company's subscription. So all these things we'll see in later part of this chapter. Next topic is next concept is concept number 6, blockchain. Remember that what is the meaning of blockchain? Simply, so this is the technology related term. So please try to understand all these things, okay? So blockchain is a digital record of transactions. I repeat, blockchain is a digital record of transactions. So it is a digital record of transactions. So this is not the manual record of transactions. So this is the digital record of transactions. Individual records in these transactions in the digital world is called blocks. BLOCKS, blocks. So individual records will be considered as blocks. Whenever these individual records are linked together in a single list, then these linked together in a single list individual records are called chain. So that is the reason blockchain. So blockchain is nothing but individual records linked together in a single list. So that is called blockchain. So blockchains are used for recording transactions which are made with cryptocurrencies such as cryptocurrency example Bitcoin, and have many other applications. So there is a digital contract involved. So in the digital world, however, contracts can be different to enforce because the data can be changed so quickly and conveniently. So that is the reason there is a digital contract which will be there as a part of the blockchain, and the cryptocurrencies will be there. In cryptocurrency especially, one party, there is a possibility that in cryptocurrency there is a possibility that one party can send the same currency to number of parties. So the same currency can be sent to the number of parties. Then to avoid this type of practice in digital world, so companies must lock their agreement. Such a safeguard is known as non-repudiation. I'll explain you what about non-repudiation and everything in blockchain. So meaning of blockchain and everything, whatever I told you right now, that is blockchain is nothing but a digital record of transactions that I will explain you in the later part of the chapter, and some smart contracts will be there in blockchain, and advantages of blockchain is also there. The major advantages of blockchain is it can reduce or eliminate the whatever intermediary costs are there, because every company is performing so many transactions on daily basis. Once blockchain technology is adopted by the companies, then automatically, so there is a substantial reduction of cost will be there with respect to the intermediary cost, and there is a another benefit is there is a increase in transaction transparency and provide a framework for a trustworthy decentralization. So all these are the nothing but various advantages of adopting the blockchain. So these are the 6 concepts what we are going to check in the detailed part of this topic. Now we'll move to the next slide. As you already aware of entire content of this topic 3, as an introduction to this topic 3, once again I will tell you that this chapter addresses the topic of an technology enabled finance transformation. In other words, how the technology can make a company's finance operation. I repeat, here we are not only talking about technology. The technology, how it is enabled with the finance transformation. That is the reason how technology can make a company's finance operation run faster, better, and more effectively. So this entire section addresses the topics of system development lifecycle SDLC. So this is nothing but a concept 1. Concept number 1. Business process analysis. This is a concept number 2. So RPA, robotic process analysis, concept number 3. Artificial intelligence covers under concept 4, and cloud computing, that is especially software as a service is also common example in cloud computing, as I already told you. So this covers in cloud computing, especially covers in concept number 5, and the last concept is concept 6, blockchain. Now we'll discuss each concept one by one. Concept number 1. What is the system development lifecycle, SDLC? So the system development lifecycle is a structured roadmap for designing and implementing a new information system in an organization. As I already told you, so it is a structured roadmap. This is nothing but a structured roadmap for designing and implementing the new information system. Although there are many versions and variations to SDLC, but a basic 5-step approach is presented in figure 1F12. So in the next slide, there is a figure 1F12 is there. I will show you. So this step approach can be expanded to encompass almost any variation found in the literature. So in any book, in any way, if you want to know about SDLC, typically you are going to see these 5 steps. So system analysis number 1, step number 1, conceptual design number 2. I already told you about this once again, but I will tell you about all these concepts. Physical design, implementation and conversion, operations and maintenance is the 5th step. So these are the 5 steps. Now we will see one by one. First of all, we have to see the 1F12. So systems development life cycle, figure 1F12 systems development life cycle. So number 1 is the systems analysis. So here present system need to be analyzed. So number 2 is the conceptual design. So number 2 is the conceptual design. So that is So need to be discussed what is the concept required. Okay. So the third one is physical design. So designing the physical structure. So and the after designing the physical structure, now it needs to be implemented and it should be converted into the present system. And the fifth one is operations and maintenance. It's a ongoing process. So this comes under monitoring category. We will discuss each one by one. What is system analysis? So as I already told you, system analysis involves the identifying the needs of the organization. So what are all the needs of the organization in designing the new system, or modifying the existing system, or assembling the information. So and assembling the information regarding so the current system is to be whether required to be modified, or the new system is to be purchased, or the new system is to be developed. If not purchased, then it can be developed, or if it is developed, or it is developed in our organization, so no need to purchase either one of these two. So regarding the new system, or whatever current system is there, so that we can modify. So this is called system analysis. After system analysis, we are ready with the system analysis. Okay. So based on the system analysis, now the second step is conceptual design. So conceptual design involves the creating a plan for meeting the needs of the organization. So here the main goal is creating a plan for the meeting the needs of the organization. So various design alternatives are there. As I already told you, various design alternatives are there. So design alternatives are prepared and detailed specifications are created to provide instruction on how to achieve the desired system. So this is nothing but conceptual design. Once a concept is ready, based on that concept, now physical design will be started. So in physical design, it involves the taking the conceptual design and creating detailed specifications for creating the system. So that design would include specifications for computer code. What is the computer code for the physical design? What are all the inputs? What are all the outputs? What data files are to be there within the new system in physical design, and databases and processes, how many processes will be involved, and what are all the procedures, as well as proper controls. Everything will be established in the physical design. Once physical design is ready, then in fourth step it will be implemented and converted. So implementation and conversion involves the installation of the new system, including hardware and software. So the new system is now tested and users are trained with the new standards, new procedures, and new controls are instituted. After implementation and conversion, so the final step is operations and maintenance. In operations and maintenance, it involves so running the system, checking the performance, and making adjustments as necessary, and maintaining the system. So whatever improvements are made and fixes are put in place until the organization determines that the cost of maintaining the old system does not justify its benefits, and the whole cycle starts over again. So this is the 5-step system development life cycle process. So this is very easy to remember. One need to consider that how system analysis will be performed, and how the conceptual design will be, and how based on the conceptual design how the physical design will be, and how the implementation and conversion works, and how the operations and maintenance will be performed. So now we are in concept number 2. What is the role of business process analysis in improving the system performance? As I already told you about the business process analysis. So simply business process analysis is nothing but the way the company is running its operations. So because better information should lead to better decisions, the quality of a company's system performance will directly impact the overall performance of the company. As such, companies always want to find ways to improve, that is, do things in a better way, and cheaper and faster, or even not at all. So to increase the profitability. Why all these things will be done by the company? To increase the profitability. One way to do this is through improved system performance. So that comes that is the area where business process analysis will come into picture. So if a company is thinking about improved system performance, then it should perform the business process analysis. So a company's systems are comprised of a set of so many business processes. So business processes are simply the way companies run their business. So they are the tasks, procedures, teams, and communications. So company do every day to provide their products and services and keep the doors open. So in order to perform the business process analysis, so company first of all they have to observe the what are all the business processes, what are all the set of business processes involved in company's systems. So what are all the set of business processes generally involved in a company? So they are the nothing but tasks, procedures, teams, and communications. So what the company will do every day to provide their products and services and keep the doors open. In continuation to the role of business process RPA in improving system performance. So in many new and growing businesses, processes were not always developed with an eye on how the process would fit into the overall structure and objective of the business. Instead, they were created based on the easiest way to get the job done, with little thought for long-term consequences. So, in this point, you are going to know about many new and growing businesses. Whenever they start the any new business, or whenever they are growing, they are not always thinking about the long-term point of view. They are always thinking about the short-term point of view. But many times the easiest way or the path of least resistance is not the best way to accomplish the task. So unfortunately, after a business process is in place, inertia takes over, so and is difficult to change, which can retard the company's growth. So once in sixth point, once business is developed, you cannot change much. So automatically if you can't change, then it can retard the growth of our company. In seventh point, a haphazardly designed system is normally ill prepared to handle business growth and may in turn actually impede business growth. So whatever haphazardly designed system is there, so that will automatically impede the business growth. So there comes the concept called in these scenarios there comes the concept called business process analysis. So that is the reason business process analysis is a systematic method to study all of a company's business processes to determine how they can be improved. There are four basic steps available. So how the system performance can be improved through BPA. So through business process analysis, the company can improve their systems. So that is the reason. So business process analysis is none other than a systematic method to study the all of a company's business processes to determine how they can improve their system. So for this, the company have four basic steps. So by going through these steps, company can improve their systems. The first step is clearly identify the process how the company is as of now doing. So that is who is involved in that particular process, who is involved, and that is currently being done. So that is currently being done with a clearly defined starting and ending point. So who involved in that process and when it will be started and when it will be getting ended. It is best to start with the processes that are most critical to the business. So while performing this step number one, that is going clearly identify through the process, the company should start with the most critical to the business. So the company should start with the process which is most critical to the business. So these processes should be directly connected to the company's main product and also revenues or expenses. So whatever most critical processes are selected for identifying the process, so that should be directly connected to the company's main product, company's revenues and company's expenses. So through step number one, you can clearly identify the process which are most connected to the company's main product and revenues and expenses. Once if you are thorough with the identification of the critical process which is involved with the company's main product or a company's revenues or expenses, then you can come to the second step. In second step, do a walkthrough of the process to document it clearly and fully. That is, as part of this step, perform interviews. Okay, so interview key employees to learn what they have to say about the process. Look for any gaps in the process where the information is lost or misdirected. I will tell you an example. For example, walking through a production process would allow the analyst to directly observe the process. So whenever being an analyst, if you walk through a particular process, you came to know that what exactly the company is doing. Direct communication with the personnel would help the analyst to fully document the system, since the analyst may ask n number of questions of the employees during the walkthrough. So direct involvement, you can see this as a direct involvement. So ask the particular employees, do a walkthrough process. So you can ask any questions to the employees. You can see the whatever with the gaps involved in the process. You can identify those gaps. Okay. Now coming to the after step number two, after walkthrough of the process. Now coming to the step number three. Step number 3, examine the current processes. So whatever be the current processes are there now, that you need to examine it to identify the strong areas and areas that can be improved, such as whatever bottlenecks are there, friction points are there, and weaknesses are there, can overcome them. Look for ways to add value to the process. So how can we can add the process value to the process? If a step in the process is not adding value to the company, then you can remove it. As mentioned, direct observation can illuminate areas for improvement. In addition, those working directly in the process have intimate knowledge of its problems and bottlenecks and most likely are in the best position offer solutions to these problems. So in third step, you can examine the current processes. So to identify the strong areas and the areas that can be improved whenever there are bottlenecks, there are friction points, or there are some weaknesses found in the process, you can improve them. You can add value to them. And in this step number 3, so the company direct observation will give an illuminate area for its improvement. So the company directly can handle with the knowledgeable persons and they can take the whatever expertise that employees is having regarding all of its current processes, they can directly take the solutions from them. Okay, so this is the concept, step number 3. So once the step 3 is over, then based on these 1 2 3 steps, now based on this analysis, propose a plan for improvement. So this process is called business process analysis. So whatever plan is there now proposed, that is called business process analysis. So plan for improvement is there na. So all this will comes under BPA. So now coming to the concept number 3. In concept number 3, we are going to say about the robotic process automation. Here it is robo. So these are humans. Whenever it comes to the routine tasks, na, humans can do errors, but a robot cannot do errors. They will never do the errors. So even they can perform the routine tasks in easiest way, and when compared with the humans, they can perform with less error. So what exactly robotic process automation is? So what is robotic process automation? RP is a technology, as I already told you that it is a technology that can automate the business processes. So here the concept is called robotic process automation. So that can automate the business processes that are nothing but, as I already told you previously, that are based on the rules, so based on the structure and based on the repetitive tasks. So a company can use RPA tools, that is the robotic process automation tools, to communicate with other digital systems or capture the data, retrieve the information, process a transaction, and more. So consider RPA robots that are programmed to complete specific business processes. So as of now, financial firms were the fast to adopt RPA. But there are now companies in many industries including healthcare, retail, manufacturing, and more who use RPA technology. So 10 examples of, I will give you 10 examples of robotic process automation in practice. So RPA helps companies from numerous industries complete a wide variety of tasks. The businesses helping them with their digital transformation and to improve the performance. We can see hundreds of great RPA examples. Here are just 10 of them. So call center operations, data migration or data entry and forms processing, claims administration, onboarding employees, help desk, support the sales process, scheduling the systems, credit card applications, expense management, pulling data from multiple websites to find the best deal. So these are the various examples of RPA tools used by various companies in those areas. Many business processes require professionals to capture and combine data from various sources. For example, for the account reconciliations process, professionals need data from an accounting general ledger package, data tables from an external entity such as a tax authority, and data from the company's human resource system or other data system. Why I am telling all this? Professionals then go through the process of importing or copying and pasting this data into a spreadsheet. So this type of work is detailed, time consuming. So this type of work is detailed, time consuming and subject to even human error. There comes the concept of robotic process automation. So due to monetary lack of attention or a mental fatigue. So that is the reason you can see these RPA tools. For example, in India, so ask ILA. ILA means interactive live assistant. Interactive live assistance. This is nothing but a RPA tool, robotic process automation tool, adopted by the State Bank of India. So it is generating the pin. It may updating the pin. It may resetting the forgotten pin. So and lots more. So experience is with ILA. Ask ILA. So this ILA is promoted by the SBI. So this is one of the RPA tool. So this is the car assembling automation tool. So this is the routine task performed by these robotics. And even ICICI Bank is adopting iPod. So like in case of SBI, ILA is there na. So like that in case of ICICI Bank, iPod is there. So both are similar. So they are using the RPA tools like this. So robotic process automation provides an effective solution to the risk of human error. So to the risk of human error, so RPA is providing an effective solution. When performing these tasks, RPA employs a software that can reach across various data platforms to capture and record data into one single processing facility, such as spreadsheet like Excel. So RPA robots are able to imitate many user actions, such as, so here I am telling you about imitate. So as it is whatever humans are doing, the same can be imitated by these RPAs. So that is like human, RPA can logging into programs. Like human, it can copying and pasting the data. Like human, it can moving the files and filling in forms. So the term robot invokes images of walking and talking missions like the droids depicted in science fiction or fantasy movies. However, in these missions are data sources to achieve a specified task because using RPA requires minimal knowledge, so no much intelligence is required. Of computer programming, most professionals can be trained to use RPA software to automate desired tasks. For example, suppose an employee is required to copy and paste specific fields of data from a PDF form from a governmental agency's website each week. So each week from the governmental agency website, data need to be extracted into an Excel spreadsheet so that the data can be analyzed. So in this example, how the RPA can perform this task. Okay, I will explain you in the next slide. So RPA robotics can be programmed to go the first of all governmental agency's website. So why they are going to the governmental website to retrieve and open the PDF form and then open Excel, that is Excel sheet, and to move the data from the agency's PDF form to the nothing but company's Excel spreadsheet. So this is the task that can be performed by the RPA in that example. So current RPA software utilizes drag and drop programming objects in a flowchart type interface, making the task relatively simple to learn and implement since users are not required to learn a formal programming language. So users are not required to learn a formal programming language. Adopting RPA has majorly 5 primary benefits. What are all those 5 primary benefits are? So quicker completion of monotonous tasks at a lower error rate than humans, and it leaves the audit trail, and it is 100% consistent, and the focus is on value added tasks by the employees. So because the routine tasks will be taken care by the RPA, and it can work 24/7 in a year. So that is quicker completion of monotonous tasks at a lower error rate than humans can perform the task. So leaves an audited trail of all of the actions and changes to data. So 100% consistent in that it performs the programmed functions the same way every time, barring code or data corruption. So frees human from doing boring and repetitive tasks so that they may focus on more value added tasks that lead to increased employee morale and productivity. So whenever RPA tools are performing the routine tasks, then there is a more time available to the employees so that employees can focus on other value added activities rather than simply focusing on non-value added activities, repetitive works. So RPA has 5 primary benefits. So the fifth one is, so can work 24 hours a day. These RPA tools can work 24 hours a day, even 7 days a week without any interruption because it is not human. It can perform its functions throughout the year. Okay. So we have completed the robotic process automation. Now we are in concept number 4, artificial intelligence. Comparing with the robotic process automation, in artificial intelligence, the main difference is in RPA, it is mainly focusing on repetitive tasks, that is routine tasks to be performed by the employees on daily basis in an organization. But in case of artificial intelligence, think that whatever tasks are performed by the machines, those are filled with some sort of human intelligence. That is the reason I am calling it as a human intelligence in machines. So whenever a person asks you about what is artificial intelligence, you can tell them that it is nothing but a human intelligence in missions. Human intelligence in missions. So, and how this artificial intelligence is relating to the accounting data processing. Okay, I'll explain you one by one. Meaning of artificial intelligence. So, it is intelligence demonstrated by missions. Unlike the natural intelligence displayed by humans and animals, which involves consciousness and emotionality. So, as I already told you, it is an intelligence demonstrated by the missions. That is the reason. So, human intelligence is here filled in the missions. So, unless natural intelligence displayed by humans and animals. Okay, artificial intelligence is a part of computer science. So, concerned with building smart machines capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence. It is the endeavor to replicate or simulate the human intelligence in missions. Simply, it is nothing but an endeavor or replicator or simulator human intelligence in missions. So, human intelligence in missions. So, manual accounting process. So, before introduction of this artificial intelligence, so manual accounting process take time and are susceptible to human error. For shorter, that is science on top example, before artificial intelligence systems, so processing of the purchase order, as I already told you at the introduction of this topic 3 about this processing of the purchase order in a manual accounting process. So processing purchase orders required that a paper-based purchase order be manually filled out and then manually entered into the company's purchasing system. Then the purchase order was coded, so forwarded to the proper party for authorization and mailed to the vendor. So this is the manual accounting process. So that is before introduction of the artificial intelligence system. But in case of electronic processing, so that is after introduction of the AI systems. So how it will be performed? Yes, AI systems can now process the full transaction from electronically capturing the purchase order data to processing the data in the company's ERP, including recording, approval to sending and the purchase order electronically to the vendor. This is the automation process which will be performed by the artificial intelligence systems. In addition to the obvious benefits of greatly increasing speed and a much lower error rate, that is the specialty. Speed will be increased when compared with humans and there is a much lower error rate. Using AI systems provides a transparency throughout an accounting process, so which allows professionals to monitor the process and take advantage of such things as purchase discounts. So, in case of fourth point, data entry and analysis and in reducing the fraud. I already told you that artificial intelligence have primarily there are two major benefits in two areas. So two areas where AI can improve accounting processes are in data entry and analysis and in reducing the fraud. So a significant benefit of AI systems is that they can learn from their mistakes. As I already told you, they can learn from their own mistakes and be programmed to not repeat those mistakes. So they will not repeat those mistakes. As a part of fourth point, intelligent systems can be programmed to identify and interact with the customers and vendors who capture, code and process routine transactions such as invoices and purchase orders, track payment deadlines and ensure the proper approvals are recorded in a timely manner. So all this is nothing but as a part of fourth point. What is the fourth point? Data entry and data analysis and reducing the fraud. As a part of reducing the fraud, it is performing like this. So in fifth point, AI is expensive to implement. So there are currently few commercially available products only. So companies often create their own software, but AI can be expensive to implement due to software development costs and lack of experienced programs. There are mainly two problems involved. One is the cost is very high and there are no experienced programmers available, so to develop and design the artificial intelligence systems. So that is the reason AI is expensive to implement. Now coming to the concept 5, cloud computing. As I already told you, what is the meaning of cloud computing? So cloud computing is none other than it is simply an outsourcing computer operations to an outside provider. Okay. So meaning of cloud computing. So cloud computing is simply outsourcing. So this is nothing but outsourcing computer operations to an outside provider. So computer hardware and software is expensive, so requires maintenance and has a fairly short useful life that requires a relatively frequent capital investment. Thus, many companies have elected to outsource their computing operations. So, cloud computing is simply outsourcing computer operations to an outside provider. As I already told you, cloud computing is simply outsourcing computer operations to an outside provider. So, the term cloud computing comes from a network mapping technique that portrayed a cloud between two networks. So the cloud consists of number of providers. That is the reason we can call that service provider, cloud provider as a we can call that service provider as a cloud provider. So the cloud consists of a number of providers who offer hardware and software on rental basis. So that is for rent. So companies pay the providers to manage their computer processes. One is for computer processes and to store their data. Thus, companies effectively outsource their hardware capital expenditures. So, explain you their hardware capital expenditures and their computing obsolescence risk to these providers. So, they also can derive tax benefit of directly expensing these costs. So to the income statement, I repeat, to the income statement, one can that is the company can claim whatever expenditure. So that is whatever expenses paid to the cloud provider, that expenditure the company can claim in this income statement as an expenditure, instead of capitalizing, maintaining and depreciating the cost of the hardware and software or the useful life of the asset. So depreciation will not be provided, but the expenditure whatever is incurred by our company regarding cloud service provider services claimed by our company, that expenditure our company can claim as an expenditure in the income statement. So the cloud computing seems to be like this. So here is the cloud computing. So wherein mobile related, application related, database, hybrid cloud, public cloud, private cloud, server is there, storage is there. Everything will be provided by the cloud provider. What are all the various risks involved in cloud computing? As I already told you, there are two risks involved. One is risks in cloud computing. So one is nothing but security problem, security for the data. Another one is level of service required is not provided by the cloud service provider. So security may not be provided by the cloud service provider. and the level of service is also may not be provided by the cloud service provider. So this is the risk involved. So I'll explain you. However, cloud computing comes with some notable risks, such as the risk that the cloud provider will not provide sufficient security for the data, and it may be that data may be lost, stolen, or corrupted. So another risk is that the cloud provider may not provide the level of service required to support the operations of the company. So these two are the main risks associated with the cloud computing. So software as a service, as I already told you, so one of the common example in cloud computing services is software as a service. SaaS is a common example of cloud computing. So companies can purchase, so observe this one. So companies will purchase the software from a provider, so that is from a service provider. So and have it delivered through the internet. So software is used to be distributed on the tapes, floppy disks, and CDs. So the company will get the software through either tapes, floppy disks, or CDs. So these are the old type of models. So now it can get that software through Google Drive link, etc. So companies had to purchase multiple copies of the software and then purchase upgrades and new additions on these magnetic media. So this is called software as a service. As I already told you, software as a service, you can assume this as a, so if you need any paid service of a particular software, then you need to pay some monthly subscription charges to the software developer in order to use their services. Like that software, we can call it as a software as a service. So SaaS created a new way to distribute software by allowing customers access to software hosted on the provider's service servers. Companies like this arrangement because it relieves them of the cost of installing and maintaining the software and data on their own computers. SaaS also provides pay as you go service also. So companies can pay for the software on a even monthly basis. In addition, SaaS allows for easy scaling. Customers purchase only what they need and can then add features and users as needed. So the software is automatically updated and accessible anytime from anywhere a user can connect to the internet. So on the risk side, using SaaS makes a company dependent on a SaaS provider for the use of the software. So independent thinking may not be possible to the company because in order to use a particular service relating to that software, companies always should depend on this source. So SaaS providers may experience service disruptions also. So sometimes their service may not be ongoing. So sometimes it may be uh, disrupted and impose a service charge changes or alterations to the software that the company does not want or even experience a data breach causing exposure of critical customer data also. So these are the risk side in source. Now coming to the blockchain. So what is the meaning of a blockchain? As I already told you, blockchain is a digital record of transactions. I repeat it once again. So blockchain is a digital record of transactions. So digital record of transactions. So I will explain you. Individual records will be considered as a blocks. So I will explain you like this. Whatever individual records. So those individual records we can call them as a blocks. Linked together in single list. These individual records are linked together in a single list. In a single list. If they are linked together in a single list, then they can be considered as a chain. So then what is the meaning of blockchain? Blockchain means individual records are linked together in a single list is called blockchain. So this entire next slide, all these slides, okay. So all these slides content, all these slides content is based on the this definition of the blockchain. So please observe this definition of the blockchain. So blockchain is nothing but it is a digital record of the transactions. So nothing but individual records will be considered as blocks linked together in a single list is called a chain. So that is individual records are linked together. So that is like this. Individual records linked together. I repeat, individual records linked together is called nothing but blockchain. So all these will be called as a blockchain. So there are number of transactions which are linked to each other. So that is the reason. So these are called blocked chain. So that is called blockchain. So a blockchain is a digital record of transactions. The name comes from its structure in which individual records are called blocks are linked together in single list are called chain. So blockchains are used for recording transactions made with cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and have many other applications. So mainly blockchains are used for recording the transactions which are made with cryptocurrencies. So whenever it comes to the blockchain technology, everyone is automatically thinks about cryptocurrencies only. So as of now the cryptocurrency is Bitcoin. So there are so many cryptocurrencies available, but Bitcoin is the major currency which was found during the around 2011 year and have many other applications. So blockchain even can be implemented in many other applications also. So we have to know about the digital contracts, because a contract consists of verbal or written communication, so written agreement between the parties. Contracts exist to provide legally binding agreements between two or more entities. But in the digital world, we have to observe this. In the digital world, however, contracts can be difficult to enforce because data is every time changing. So change it so quickly and conveniently. So in the instance of the cryptocurrency, whenever we are talking about cryptocurrency, so here in this entire paragraph, what he is saying is one party is providing service to another one, so that the other party will send cryptocurrency to this party, so that the same cryptocurrency can be transformed, can be sent by other party to some other parties also, including this party. So in that case, the same cryptocurrency can be sent to so many parties. So to avoid this, so we need some technology that is called blockchain technology. We are using in this to avoid this duplication. So thus, in order for contracts to have any force on the engaged parties, parties must be able to lock their agreement. So without fear of the contract being altered after the fact. Such a safeguard is known as a non-repudiation. So simply non-repudiation essentially prevents alteration. Okay, it prevents a party from negating an agreement through denying the authenticity of a signature. However, a nefarious party, so that is a nefarious party may attempt to change or invalidate. So it may attempt to change or invalidate a contract because there are few legitimate copies. Because there are only few legitimate copies, so automatically nefarious party can try to change those copies. But however, what if 1000 legitimate and authentic copies of a contract were separately stored in 1000 different locations in digital world? Then they cannot change that nefarious party cannot change these 1000 legitimate copies. So could an FRS party change all 1000 copies? Probably not. So how can an authentic copy be stored in 1000 different locations? So this is called through the use of blockchain technology. So in blockchain technology, one copy will be stored in 1000 different locations. So anyone cannot change those 1000 legitimate copies. So I will explain you the process of blockchain once again by telling you the blockchain definition and blockchain process. So meaning of blockchain. So as I already told you, blockchain technology or a distributed ledger technology in general is the underlying technology of cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin. So blockchain is one type of, I repeat, distributed ledger. So a distributed ledger is a database that is housed in several locations. As I already told you, so it can be stored in 1000 locations, so several locations, or among several participants. All data and transactions are not processed and validated in one central location. So it will not be saved in one central location. Okay, decentralization is the concept. So the main concept of the main concept involved here is the decentralization. So the data is typically not stored until consensus is reached by all the parties involved. The files are then time-stamped and given a unique and cryptographic signature. So this is the key element. Thus, the distributed ledger technology provides a verifiable and auditable history of the information stored in that database. I will explain you all this entire meaning of blockchain and this blockchain process through images in the last two slides. However, before going to those two slides, first of all see what the information here is. Blockchain process. Blockchain is a special kind of database or distributed ledger with individual records or blocks that are linked together in a sequential list is called a chain of blocks. So that I already explained you at the start of the blockchain. These records or blocks are validated by multiple nodes or parties in a peer-to-peer network. The blocks are linked to other blocks, making them immutable. Immutable means unchanged. Okay, I repeat, what is the meaning of immutable? So unchanged, that is cannot be changed or unchangeable. Since the contracts are recorded in these blocks and then linked to other blocks, the possibility of secretly altering a contract is virtually eliminated. So because the blocks are incorporated into the multiple nodes in peer-to-peer networks, a particular party cannot change the contract. So the blocks are essentially immutable. Immutable means unchangeable because an altered block will not be identical to all of the other blocks stored across all of the other nodes in the peer-to-peer network. So in other words, if a block is altered, everyone on the network will know that the altered block does not match their copy of the block on their node. So once one block is altered, so automatically all the parties involved in that in that network knows about this alteration. So they are not willing to accept that alteration. So in digital world, that is in blockchain technology, there are smart contracts out there. So those smart contracts are nothing but agreements between parties created by software and embedded in a blockchain protocol, such as they take written contracts to another level. Smart contracts are automatically executable software programs. So these are automatically executable software programs that represent an agreement between parties through software code instead of paper. So the software code is run and embedded in a blockchain protocol or platform without the need for any type of intermediary such as a broker or a dealer to control the execution of the agreement. So the software code represents the terms of the agreement and is immutable, so that is unchangeable since it is incorporated into a block that is part of the chain. So what are all the various advantages of a blockchain means? The application of the blockchain technology beyond the digital currencies can reduce the and eliminate the intermediary costs. So it can increase the transaction transparency and even it can provide a framework for trustworthy decentralization. So I will explain you all these points in the last two slides, and before explaining those two slides I will explain you this slide also. So the framework, also the potential to detect the tax evasion. If you adopt the blockchain technology, it is easy that if you adopt the blockchain framework, it is easy that to detect the tax evasion. It can reduce the corruption, it can track the unlawful payments, and it can track the money laundering also and detect the misappropriation of the assets. So as an example, one application of blockchain technology is the supply chain. So observe that there is a supply chain. So the ability of blockchain technology to exchange data seamlessly through decentralized peer-to-peer networks with all transactions immutably stored and available for audit could make the supply chain system much more transparent and reliable. So blockchain technology and smart contracts could reduce or eliminate the numerous documents that accompany the international shipment of goods and the time lag required to process the international financial transactions. So these are the nothing but whatever blockchain is explained. Na? So the entire blockchain theory is covered in this summary. Okay, what is blockchain? Blockchain technology is a distributed. I will explain you. Blockchain technology is a blockchain technology is a distributed ledger system that promotes decentralization, so transparency and data integrity. So in the year 1991 to 2008, so in the year 2009 to 2011, 2012 to 14, 15 to 17, 2018, 2019. In 2019, blockchain as a service industries start to bloom. So security tokens are replacing ICOs. So this you need to study yourself. Okay, different types of blockchain technology, just for not from a CMA exam point of view, just for your reference I am giving this one. So general classification is public to private to federated to hybrid. So permission level classification is permission to permissionless. So blockchain definition, fundamentals of blockchain technology. So features of blockchain. So as I already told you, immutable. Immutable means unaltered. So decentralization, enhances security, distributed ledger, consensus of the parties involved, faster settlement. Everything will be there in a blockchain. So what are the use cases of blockchain? So global transactions, trading, food safety, in supply chain, in retail, governmental services, intellectual property, healthcare, oil and gas, real estate, humanitarianism, insurance, media and entertainment, travel, network solutions, gaming, cyber security related, internet of things. In all these areas, blockchain is playing very important role. So the uses are endless. Here I will explain you some process. So Bitcoin, this is Bitcoin. Someone requests a transaction. So here the requested information is broadcast to a PTP network consisting of computers known as nodes. So these are nothing but nodes. Various nodes are there. So the P2P network of nodes validates the transaction and the user's status using known logarithms. A verified transaction can improve cryptocurrency, contracts, records, or other information. So here is the cryptocurrency. So has no intrinsic value. Cryptocurrency has no intrinsic value in that it is not redeemable for another commodity. So has no physical form and exists on the only on the only in the network. So its supply is not determined by a central bank and the network is completely decentralized. So these are the three things about the cryptocurrency. So here once verified, the transaction is combined with other transactions to create a new block of data for the ledger. So this is validated. The new block is then added to the existing blockchain in a way that is permanent and unalterable. So the transaction is said to be completed. So this is the process of a blockchain. So this is the end of the concept topic number 3. So we have discussed all the 6 concepts. So what are all the topics we have covered? What are all the concepts we covered in topic 3? Technology enabled financial transformation. So technology enabled financial transformation in this topic 3. So we have discussed so far. We have discussed all these things. So what is systems development life cycle? I already told you. So this is a 5-step process. One is analyzing the systems. So that is company need to be analyzing what information they exactly need there. So after that, based on the needs of the organization, they have to design the concept. So physical design will be there, and implementation and conversion, and after that, operations and maintenance. It's a ongoing continuous process. So this is called SDLC. In concept number 2, we have discussed so much about the role of business process analysis. So in improving the system performance, I already explained you about the what is the business process analysis and how we can improve that business process analysis. How can we improve the system's performance? Even to adopt changing environment, even customers are also better experienced about our businesses. So that's the reason business process analysis will mainly concentrating on manufacturing process, service process regarding that, the way they are operating as of now. So BPA mainly follows an observation and interviews with employees and customers, identifying validated components of the process, conducting the time and motion studies to assess the efficiency of a process. All these are nothing but part of the business process analysis. So regarding robotic process automation, I already told you that. So the robotic process automation is nothing but it is nothing but the major benefit of RPA is its adoption will give you the company to free a lot of time to the employees to make the time availability to the employees, and accuracy will be improved, and employees can devote their time to value added tasks also. So but the problem with the robotic process automation is cost involved in the RPA. So if the programs are wrong, then three-way matching, benchmarks and everything will be there, so that becomes wrong. So three-way process means say nothing but purchase to purchase, raising the purchase order to sending the invoices, like that. Whatever whatever program is already given to the robotics, so if they have given in a wrong way, then it will become, then the results also becomes the in a wrong way, output also becomes in a wrong way. So especially this robotic process automation is dealing with the routine tasks of the company. But in case of artificial intelligence, so I already told you that artificial intelligence is already nothing but an intelligence which is held in missions. Okay, so remember that RPA is with routine repetitive tasks, but whereas artificial intelligence uses the pattern recognition analysis to recommend to the organization. Okay, and artificial intelligence is majorly focusing on a critical analysis and pattern recognition. So it makes recommendations, and even it involves learning, and whatever mistakes or then the same cannot be repeated by those missions in their future repetitive tasks. And in case of innovative applications, so why I'm calling it as innovative application, so cloud computing, blockchain, these are nothing but innovative applications. So these are nothing but what? Innovative applications. So cloud computing and blockchain are nothing but innovative applications. So in innovative applications, in case of cloud computing, so the main thing is outsourcing to the outside provider. So benefit is mainly lowering the IT or maintenance costs. So there are tax benefits in the form of expenditure directly debited to the income statement. But regarding cost wise, it is a regarding cost, it is a controllable cost. But the main problem with the cloud computing is a security problem. So as I already told you, even the service provider may not provide you the support also at the level expected by the our company. One of the common example I already told you about the cloud computing is a software as a service provider. In case of blockchain technology, so it is mainly the digital record. As I already told you, it is a digital record. So distributed digital ledger of economic transactions. So commonly you can use it for digital currencies, and it can facilitate smart contracts. And in blockchain especially, the contracts will be created and which cannot be altered, and all these things we have discussed. So this is all about topic number 3. Revise this entire topic 3 and know the difference between robotic process automation and artificial intelligence, and also difference between cloud computing and blockchain. So know more and more about by studying, and know more and more about these all these 6 concepts by studying from our study material volume number 1. Okay. Thanks for watching the class, and thanks for learning all these concepts with me, and we will see in the topic number 4. Okay, thank you.